All right. Another one of these. I just did the avocado test. I'll preface this right away. I don't like making these kind of videos, but we're at the point where everybody wants to know everything all the time. What was your experience? How did it go? And I have an easy video to just point people to that and not have to answer the same questions all the time, I guess. And it just kind of makes life easier. I did basically two things in the avocado patch. First off, the notes are public, but there isn't much there to let you know what's going on. My focus in Pyro, things that I was super excited about, were contested zones and economy stuff. I didn't check out the economy stuff because I went to the contested zones, and the next thing I was excited to see was jump points. So those are the two things that we're going to highlight today. Started out with contested zones because if you spawn in Pyro, like they explained in the ISC about contested zones, they're right outside the social areas, right? Social areas being, at least at Checkmate Station, was around the food court. So I found a big door. If anybody had done the previous Pyro playtest, there's a big door that kind of leads to rooms with garbage and stuff like that in them. That's what now leads to contested zones. And there were no NPCs there technically. There were some invisible ones because apparently their clothing or their tattoos or something like that were not really in, but they were in, but they're not in, and they were just like invisible. So some people died to invisible NPCs. I actually never saw any. There is a new fauna, and it is a rat, and it literally, have you ever seen the rat jam emote? On Twitch, that's what it looks like. It just kind of animates side to side a lot, and it's pretty goofy. It's definitely not in fully yet. The loot table inside the contest, tons of loot containers. It is the Stanton loot table. So not really far along here. But what I did get to see is two systems that were, I think, technically three systems that were pretty fun. Lots of jump puzzles and things like that. Lots of tunnels to go through to get to certain areas. Drugs in a lot of places. The process of how they make drugs, you can kind of see it now. Dengus root from Hurston seems to be involved in this somehow. So on the economy brain side of things, you might be buying or finding and harvesting things in Hurston, bringing them over to Pyro, and then bringing drugs back, potentially. That could be a thing. So the contested zone is definitely a drug lab, at least the one that I found, right? And once again, that it was on Checkmate Station. If you guys found one on another station, your experience might have been completely different. I have no idea. But the contested zone is massive. Doors and hallways and big open rooms galore, basically. But some doors are locked. And as a matter of fact, basically the first locked door you come across is really early. And I really don't want to spoil it. So I think I'm going to put a spoiler warning up for you guys here. Although if you're watching this video, you're going to get spoiled anyway. But I really think you need to figure this puzzle out yourself, because if I spoil it, I ruin it for everyone. So, yeah, spoiler warning. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The door doesn't have a fuse in it, and there's a little part of the door that has a fuse insert at the bottom. But there's a fuse box in the room that you're in. And it took me a while because I was looking for a key card in all the loot containers. No key card for that one. Fuse. So I put the fuse in, bang, the door opens. Oh, the whole world's open to me. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And no NPCs. That's when I see the rat and find all the drug labs and things like that, right? So now we're running around and we don't know that there's nothing there, right? So we're all, me and 5 other people are running around the contest zone looking for stuff. Like, ooh, we found this. Ooh, we found that. Ooh, we found a 3D printer that prints the key cards that we saw in the sneak peek not too long ago. And that opens these big blue security doors. And through those big blue security doors, we noticed the loot containers changed. And they changed from your standard loot containers, like the white ones and the square ones and the medical ones and the ammunition ones, to the green weapon ones. Now, none of the new weapons were in, technically. We think that there was some like there was a special gun box that was open, and there was a gun in it, and it had a lot of attachments on it. One of them had the low light scopes on it, so I think they're trying to do something there, but again, we have like the old Stanton loot. I went to a Fire Rats area, which is a faction within Pyro, and it was, oh my god, I can't remember the name of the room in dorms in Escape from Tarkov, but that one room with like the pentagram in the middle, that's the vibe it was giving. It was pretty wild. But yeah, outside of that, I found another very interesting looking container inside one of the drug labs. It was like a tall container that was purple and white. It was like a rectangle, but tall and skinny. And inside of it was subscriber loot. So again, Stanton loot table. So who knows what's actually intended to be there. Went to a gun shop as well. All the old guns, nothing new. Still could buy railguns, 16K. Basically the Pyro playtest stuff. Like there's a lot of unchanged things as well. Then I did jump points, and I gotta say, I'm absolutely blown away. I did not think I would enjoy these. I did not think that this would have been as amazing, and like nailed it 100%. Like literally perfection was my jump that I did. I can't believe how good it was. After that was not the case, but I guess I got really lucky because after my jump, everything started falling apart, both on the server and for the jumps and for everybody that we were playing with. But yeah, you align the ship. You basically just spool your quantum drive, fly up to the jump point, make sure you align your ship. There's kind of a like developer UI that pops up, and you just align it, and then some silly developer message pops up and says like check past or something like that. You left click, it shoots that quantum burst into the jump point, and bang, it opens up and it pulls you in. And when it pulls you in, it's pretty jarring. Again, I don't want to spoil it for you. It's very cool. And I just want to say that the actual gameplay element of staying in the jump point was really, really like exhilarating, fun, intense. I could also see it getting super repetitive because it was long. I think it was in the jump point for easily 1.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. Like it was a long time. So, you know, to load in the Pyro system, maybe it takes a while. And, load in the Stanton system because I started in Pyro. But I made it through, and the visuals were incredible. The sound was amazing. The gameplay was great. And you can see other people inside the wormhole with you, and you could even see when they hit the sides or fly out of the wormhole. Then we tested it again coming back the other way, and we failed. Not on purpose, but once we had failed, we were kind of like, all right, let's see what happens. And this was a little bit buggy, but it literally shot us out way off the map of Stanton, because we were in Stanton trying to go back to Pyro, way off the map. And like to the point where we might have run out of fuel trying to get back in, kind of thing. And it was pretty intense. It was pretty cool. But then we ran into some client crashes, and when we came back from our client crash, we weren't in Stanton anymore. We were back in Pyro. So that was a little bit weird. And then we tried getting back to the Pyro jump gate, and then the server error started, and they just went over and over and over again, nonstop. The moment you came back, another one started, and then we were trying to get onto other people's servers who weren't having this problem, and then those servers started having the problem. So everything started to crumble pretty quickly. But I feel like the design is there, and those are all the things that I've talked about over the while, that it feels like the design is there and is pretty fun. So I'll talk a little bit more on the 3D printer thing with the security key. Is if you're the guy who finds the security key, well, there's a 3D printer, and then there's a screen next to the 3D printer. As soon as you take the security key, it automatically makes another one. So everyone in your group can have one. You can make a few, because there's actually a few security doors, and I only ever saw security level 1. It says the 1 on it. It doesn't say another number. So there could be other levels of security that we don't know about. There were some elevators in the contested zones, but they all seem to bring you back to the social area. So those appeared to be extracts. And yeah, so we don't know how far these things go. We don't know how intense the fights are. I did see Copians and hear Copians as well. There was like one behind a doggy door, kind of like they're meant to pop out and get you. So yeah, very cool, very awesome, very buggy, and seems very far away. So for the people who are thinking that 4.0 might go to some level of PTU before SitCon, I'm going to go ahead and say there is a almost 0% chance that that's going to happen. So I'm sure I put up some old Star Citizen ISC videos for this. I don't think I was just going to sit here and talking head with you guys, but it was a surprisingly good experience. Started off really stable and then ended off very unstable. Like basically my expectations were how we ended and not how we started. So I feel pretty good coming out of this one. And again, the gameplay design of the contested zones feels really good, but we don't know what it's going to be like when we're fighting each other. I will say the layout appears to not appeal to, but work really well if you're going to be a complete rat and stand in a corner, shoot people, loot them, that kind of thing. So if you're into that thing, the areas are so big that hiding, I think, is going to be a very common thing. And you might just turn a corner and a shotgun's going to be right down your throat. So I have a feeling that's what's going to be happening during this contested zone thing. I'm not sure they exactly nailed the level design, but I think the game design part and some of the interactions that we have, especially with the doors, feels really, really good. So that's all I got for you. Again, it was a short test, only a few hours, and after about an hour and a half is when we hit the never-ending crashes. So I couldn't go down to the settlements. I couldn't see the social areas down on the planets. I couldn't check out more of the economy stuff that I wanted to. Hopefully they'll be doing more tests next week or something like that, and I'll tell you more. But in this particular test, it was jump points and contested zones for me, and I'm sure you'll hear from other creators what they experienced. But my experience, I would say it was very good for an Evo test, especially a first one. And yeah, I'm leaving here kind of positive, but little worried on jump points being too tedious. We'll see. And definitely worried about contested zones possibly not being very fun because other people might not be very fun, right? So we'll have to see with that. But thank you for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that stuff. Again, these videos are what they are, and not proud of them, but I feel like I have to do them. So hit the like button if you guys enjoy this stuff. Let me know if you want to keep hearing about my experiences while I'm just talking to nobody. It just seems silly, but let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you in the next one.